Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of God, who is graceful, who is merciful. Coronavirus has shaken the world. There has been a lot of uncertainty, slowdown, and many businesses have also closed down. We have noticed that the behavior of suppliers and consumers is changing a lot. The corporates and the consumers are taking a new turn in doing businesses and in their consumer habits. So, in the circumstances, how are we going to navigate in the post-COVID era? First of all, we have to replan. We have to replan by doing new strategy in all fronts. You will have to explore new ideas, come up with new products and services so that you can get back to business. The second thing we may have to do is inject renewed value. What are the needs of the customers? We have to understand their needs now better than before. As entrepreneurs, we'll have to have a lot of flexibility with the consumers. The third thing is that we have to take proactive approach. After 9/11, which was taken as a catastrophe around the world, the buzzword after that was security. We noticed that security industry flourished a lot. There was tightened security at the airports, at main buildings, at the banks, at corporate companies, at sports events. Everywhere security became the buzzword. In the similar way, in the post-COVID era, the buzzword is going to be healthcare. So, the buzzword is going to be pharmaceuticals and medical and wellness industries. These industries will flourish a lot. So, what lessons have we learned from this post-COVID era? The first lesson is that working remotely is becoming beneficial not only to the employer but also to the employees. More than that, everyone now has become digital conscious. By that, everyone now, whether you are a consumer or a supplier, you are more accessible, more available, and more relevant to each other than before. And not only that, from the perspective of employers, we have to give more support to our consumers than before. This will build loyalty to all customers, and you will make new customers become loyal to you. The second lesson we have learned is that we cannot be opportunistic as we had become before. We have to be altruistic. By altruistic, it means we have to be unselfish. We have to know the needs and well-being of other people. We can't exploit the current climate. So we have to change the strategy and put the customer first. The third lesson we have learned is that a lot of confusion, fear, and turmoil has been created around the world. So there has to be a re-establishment of some sense of humanity. It is now in the post-COVID area, we have to be aware that client connection will not only be commercial only, but it has to be emotional as well. The fourth lesson we have learned is that e-commerce is becoming very important. Now, why is going online the right solution for almost all businesses? Because in the post-COVID era and during the post-COVID, we have experienced that CCD is becoming very important. What I mean is that contactless commerce and delivery is become very important in the post-COVID area. There has been existence of fear. So what has happened is that to counter that, grocery shops and pharmaceutical companies have also started delivering of their products to people's homes. On-demand platforms are now being formed so that doctors and nurses are also available when you call them on demand. So how the business will survive in the post-COVID era? There are two choices we have. The first is either you resign to the fate and say, look, it's COVID, I can't do anything, I'm done, I'm closed. Or you roll up your sleeves, fight back, and recognize the fact that every calamity comes with an opportunity. So if you choose the latter, there are 9 factors you should be taking care of. The first is keep going. Go with the flow. Be positive, regroup yourself, revitalize your assets, improvise, and add new services and products if need be. The second factor is more attention to your consumers. Your customers will be asking you for advice and guidance, because if you give right advice and the right guidance, it will build confidence among your customers, and when they have confidence, then your business starts moving. The third factor is prepare for the long term. In this COVID era, you have to see what impacts your cash flow. Is it the prices? Is it the payables? Is it the receivables? Is it rent? Is it the volume of business or cost of sales or overheads? You have to see what is sensitive to your cash flow and make sure that you have enough cash flow to last you during the post-COVID era. The fourth factor is cost management. As we have said, that working from home has become cost consciousness for both the employer and the employees. Time is saved as well as money is saved by both. In this cost management as well, you have to renegotiate with your vendors and suppliers and get better terms and conditions. The fifth factor is invest in the future. You have to reinvent the business, because post-COVID era business is going to be different from 2019 business that we were doing. In this post-COVID era, your team will now be perhaps small, but they should be sharp and smart. That will be the business of the future. You have to give your team as an entrepreneur more confidence and positivity. Remove the negativity among your team, because you can always ensure them that better time will come. That will make them innovate and grow. Number 6 factor is that keep calm. During the COVID period, we have noticed that there has been a lot of stress and tension and anxiety among people, quite rightly so. But continuous thinking of what you cannot control will also not get you out of any situation that you may be in. So, by keeping calm, clarity will be there and you will be able to think better and move forward. The 7th factor is Pareto law. You have to find 80-20 rule, how it fits into your company. By this, it is meant that you have to make sure, with limited resources that you may have now, 20% of your actions and efforts should deliver 80% of the result. The 8th factor is keep moving. You will find around you, and when you talk to other business community, some of them might despair and hope for the storm to pass on. There is no way you can stand at the bank of a river and the storm comes and you will still be there. You will be swept away with the storm. So if you keep moving, even at a slower rate, you will be able to survive. The 9th factor and the last factor is try new things. We can afford to take risk. We can take more chances now because we are already at the bottom of the pit. So what we can do is to brainstorm new ideas, re-examine our products and services that we can offer, which we perhaps discarded in the past. So if we really try to explore new avenues, we will be able to survive and move forward. So these are the 9 factors which may help us to pull through. There is a very famous saying which says that out of constraint comes creativity, out of chaos comes chances, out of fear comes fortune. What we have to do is to have courage and to pivot our business according to the circumstances we are placed in. we are all aware that with time everything will align. May God give you the strength, the courage, and the will not only to survive but to thrive in the post-COVID area. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.